What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two different cryptos in this video. We'll talk about Alchemy Pay first, and then finish up the video talking about B3. These are two cryptos that we've talked about at length at various times, but while things have been boring, we haven't talked about them in a while. Alchemy Pay is up 15.5% right now. We're at about 1.24% or 1.24 cents on the day. 5 hours, 39 minutes left in the 7th day of November. You guys hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, okay? Alchemy Pay here, unfortunately has broken out of its massive, very massive, very well formed ascending triangle, right? Very well formed here. You did break out of it. Fortunately, though, this happened at the time that the rest of the market dumped too. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the market as a whole is weak. And we are finding support here now at the same areas that we found support before. Yes, we wicked a little bit lower, but this is what we call a fake out, where it looks like you're breaking out and you come back up really as a psyop, fake out. Now we're going to the opposite direction. Typically, with fake outs, you do move in the opposite direction very fast. So if we're faking out to the downside, we'd expect a rapid move to the upside. Just like here, just like back here where we had this point of resistance, and we had a fake out up here. What happened? Over the next 2 weeks, we dropped from a high to a low. We dropped about, is that 58%? Yeah, 58%. It's just in that same kind of context. The next 2 weeks, I don't think it'd be a 58% pump that we see, but it possibly could be more than that, right? We could see something that's like 100% pump or more. A 50% dump is like equivalent to a 100% pump. Does that make sense? Because the downside is bigger, is stronger than the upside. Does that make sense? Let me explain. So from here, a 50% pump or 50% dump is the exact same thing as a 100% pump, right? You see here, it takes you 50% to dump, and then to get back, it's 100% pump, right? If you drop an overall, what's the word, 90% or 80% from that 50% drop originally, that's another 60%, right? It's just stronger to the downside. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm getting caught up in the shenanigans here. All I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw Alchemy Pay rip back up to these areas of significance here where you found support before, backtest that and see if we are going to find resistance there and reject, or if we are going to move up higher, and I think we will move up higher. But nevertheless, I think that this next area here, something at about 1.8 cents, 2 cents itself, something in that zone is probably what we're earmarked for right now. Looking at the short-term stuff, the 1 hour time frame, zooming in a little bit, a lot of volume here on Coinbase, nice to see. RSI is looking good, stochastics look good, and the MACD is good as well. The 4 hour time frame here, you're getting overbought, which is nice. Stochastics are overbought, and that's looking good. The MACD is about to cross above the zero. Now, typically on the 4 hour, for whatever reason, when the 4 hour MACD crosses above the zero, we do anticipate some consolidation. Are you in an area where it might make sense to consolidate? I think so. You could stop here. There's resistance right here. There's prior areas of support back here. We could be finding resistance right there right now. It's a very possible outcome. From a high to a low here in this overall range, we're very near the golden ratio. So I think what's going to happen here, I think the MACD is telling us the truth. I think what's going to happen here is we move up a little bit more and then we consolidate. And in that same kind of context without the MACD, from a high to a low, we move up a little bit more to the golden ratio and then we consolidate. Likely Alchemy Pay, you'll pull back from about 1.28 cents to 1.32 cents. You'll pull back from this area back down to prices that are lower than where you are now, something around 1.21 to 1.15 cents for support, and then you'll move up higher. It could be either of these lines directly, but most likely somewhere in between is where you'd find support. So up, down, and then up again. If I'm wrong, maybe you push through to the 786, 886. Maybe you do push through to these areas of resistance here. And if that's the case, then you're just going to find support at the golden ratio and then move up. Maybe you find support at the 0.5 and then you move up, something like that. But overall, I think you are looking very positive here. This is good levels of volume. This is a good breakout move of an overall downtrend. I mean, it's very consistent with what I would think means continuation to the upside. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, all these indicators are positive, soon to be consolidating, and that's typical whenever you're overbought on two of your indicators and crossing above the zero on the 4 hour there on the MACD. Daily time frame, not bullish divergence on the RSI, but a double bottom, still a very fierce. I actually like double bottoms more than I like bullish divergence. They're more reliable, actually. And the MACD is bearish overall, but you are building bullish momentum, which is nice. You did have bullish divergence there. The stochastics are coming up. Really, the stochastics and the RSI tell me the same story, that we have days of growth to go. Maybe not tomorrow or the next day, maybe. But over the next week, over the next couple of weeks, I would expect that we are moving up dramatically higher than where we are here. And if we zoom out to the weekly effect, think about it in this kind of context. If we're about to break out and move higher, look at it as an overall range. Where are we in the respects of this overall range? We're literally at the bottom. We're literally right now, where this green dot is, we're right at the bottom. When we were here last time, where did we move up to? Where was our initial resistance point? Well, right here, for one. Found support here, resistance there. I mean, that makes sense. That's right there at 1.6 cents. Maybe we go there. Or perhaps you go all the way up here. Anything and everything from 1.6 to 2.4 cents is completely attainable within the next week or two. That's anything from a 30% to a 100% pop in the next week or two. I wouldn't be surprised at all if going into the end of this month, we even saw something more productive. We saw something more robust, and we went all the way up to the high ends of this range. We've been here before, and 2 weeks later, we were all the way up at 5 cents. So don't tell me in 2 weeks we can't do the same thing here, right? I don't think we will. I don't think in 2 weeks we'll be at 5 cents, but certainly by the end of the month we could be. You know, by the end of the month we could be all the way up to 5 cents, if not in November or in December. And then in December we're expecting to see a breakout of this overall range. The recovery is going to be nice, but the breakout's going to be more spectacular. And I think Alchemy Pay here is earmarked, being at 1.23 cents right now, is earmarked. Is this the right fib? Let me look at you on a all-time historical basis. Maybe this is the right fib here. We'll delete this one here because that's not the low anymore. You're earmarked for prices that are at 9 cents, 12 cents, and ultimately new all-time highs, right? You go, oh, come on now. Come on, right there. Whenever we take this into context, we measured new all-time highs. That's anything from about a 35x potential all the way up at 42 cents to potentially, if we go up to $1.30, that's 106x potential. I would even go as far to say that Alchemy Pay here, we look at Alchemy Pay, ACH, 119 million. I mean, you could do a multi-100x, man. Not saying that you will. Just because you could doesn't mean that you will, but let's just keep moving this higher. Yeah. You could see prices at $3 to $4 by the end of the cycle. That's pushing it. I don't think that we go past that. We had assumed once upon a time that $10 was, or maybe just shy of $10 was a viable option, but I think $4.40 to $3, that's your max target area. 42 cents is your minimum target area. Everything else in between is fair game. I like the golden ratio. $1.30, 100x from here. That sounds right to me, but who knows? Time will tell. That's where I see Alchemy Pay going in or by the end of this cycle, probably in April or May of 2026. The crypto market cap, coin market cap here is saying average crypto RSI is overbought. So we're on average overbought. A lot of people might look at that and think, oh my God, we're going to sell off. But you guys, when's the last time that you saw this overbought? It's a good thing. You want to be overbought, right? Overbought is good. People misunderstand. Being overbought is good, my friends. It's a good thing. It means you're in signs of strength. You only get overbought. They should change the words on the RSI. Instead of the overbought and the oversold zone, it should be the bullish area and the bearish area. Bullish power zone and bearish power zone, right? You're in your most powerful moments whenever you're overbought. So the whole crypto market looking like it is right now, man. I mean, I'm very excited to see what comes next. And same thing for Alchemy Pay here. But that's Alchemy Pay. Let's talk about B3 now. Okay, B3 USD here on Coinbase. Massive sell-off, massive dump of a chart overall. Very, very bearish chart. However, you only came about in February 2025. There's plenty of cryptos that have been moving down since February. Most cryptos have held their lows from April or June, but there's plenty of them that since October have dropped down and have seen some lower lows as well. You've been moving down your whole life. You do have bullish divergence on the weekly RSI. We have bullish divergence on the stochastics, and there's no bullish divergence on the MACD, but whatever. You're building bullish momentum. There's some bullish divergence for you on the 3-day time frame there. Bouncing off the oversold zone. B3 today is up about 11.2%, which is nice to see. You're having a positive reaction here. From your low on the 10th of October to your high here, you literally bounced right off the golden ratio. Perfect, perfect. Now we need you to get above the red line, 00234. If you can get above the red line here, the 236, that will validate this low. That will validate that we are breaking above this high, and we can expect to see higher prices. Just imagine what that means, right? If you're breaking out and you're seeing higher prices than like what you're seeing here, you're breaking out of this downtrend overall. B3 is getting set up, you guys, for a massive recovery, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just straight teleported to our weekly high close right here at about about 1 cent. Here we are at about 21% of a cent, with serious prospects by the end of this month to do something on the lines like a 4x move or more. Absolutely. And or more is that option that we could absolutely see. This thing's been beat up its whole life, right? Volume's dying off as you're moving lower. You're overdue for a pump, and the pump will be miraculous. Any person that's bought between June to now will be very happy. Any person that's really bought throughout this thing's history, except for the all-time high, is probably going to be happy as well over the next month or two. Looking at the short term, looking at the 1 hour time frame, this is kind of sad. We're building without volume, or volume's decaying at least. We can keep building, but if you're building and volume's decaying, you know, you can go down, and now it's building. Look at this happening right before our eyes. What are we up right now? We were up 11%. Now we're up 16%. Keep going, bro. It's going to break out. They're hearing me talk about it. Their ears are filtering out the noise. They're hearing me talk about it. 1 hour RSI here, getting overbought, looking great. Stochastics are overbought as well, looking great. And the MACD, of course, crossed above the zero. There is some bearish divergence here and there, and maybe you pull back to about 0.02. You're at 0.022 now. It's fine if you do, but I wouldn't be surprised if we continue moving higher. The stochastics, the RSI, the MACD all agree with the idea that we do continue higher. But again, when the 4 hour MACD, for whatever reason, when it crosses above the zero, we start to consolidate. So here we are at a pretty significant gap. Maybe we move up a little bit more to 0.023, 0.024, somewhere in that range, and then we consolidate over the weekend, and then next week we start to rally. That'd be my thoughts, okay? Overall, B3, we're very bullish on you. Very bullish on the gaming sector as a whole. I think B3 is going to be a very interesting coin whenever it comes to... It's interesting how many people are bullish on the gaming sector in crypto, but they're not even aware of what B3 is. I think this thing has tremendous potential, man. From a low to a high, bouncing off your golden ratio here, I really do believe... Let's see, let's look at this here. I'll type in B3 right here. Come on. Come on. Altcoins outperforming the market. Aren't altcoins the market, though? What do you mean, the market? What, or are you just talking about the altcoins that are performing the average outperforming the average altcoin? Why isn't it loading? I'm just going to delete this. Maybe this tab is slow. Oh yeah, it is. Wow, that thing didn't even close down fast. Coin market cap. Let's just do this. Dude, what is happening? What is happening? You know what? I don't even think I need coin market cap. Screw it. We could just look at this here. Market cap, where are you? Market cap, $66 million. Roughly, somewhere around there, right? $60, $70 million. You have tremendous potential here. A 100x, not that that's easy to achieve, but a 100x from here would put you at about $7 billion in market cap valuation. That's an attainable market cap. $7 billion is a lot of money, but it's a very attainable market cap. We take this from an all-time high to an all-time low, and you just measure out where the potential targets would be for new all-time highs. The minimum target's there at about 4 cents. That's an 18x. I would think by the end of this cycle, B3 has serious potential to see a 10-cent price or more, which is a 43x from here. B3 here at a fifth of a penny has serious prospects to, at a minimum, see a 45x. To potentially, you could even see something all the way up at about like 53 cents or higher. Could B3 go to $1? Yeah, it's possible. As crazy as it sounds, guys, it is possible. B3 could really go to $1 by the end of the cycle. I'm not holding my breath over that. I'm more thinking something between 10 cents and, let's say, 60 cents. That's what I'm thinking. But that's a huge range. It's a 40x, between a 40x and a multi-100x there. That doesn't mean that it's either here or here, right? We could very likely not stop here, very likely not stop here, but something in between could be the reality. But even that, 20 to 26 cents from here, that's still very impressive growth. That's still, you know, anything from a near 100x to just over a 100x potential. I think this thing has a lot of potential. And again, what's crazy is we could go as high as $1.30 even. You know, like that kind of, as crazy as it is, a 600x, it's like a 610x from, let's say, 70 million. It's a little bit under 70 million. That's $42 billion, roughly. $40 billion market cap. A $40 billion market cap, you guys, is not a small accomplishment. But we've seen plenty of cryptos in their first bull markets acquire those levels. Shiba Inu last cycle saw a $50 billion market cap, and it was just a meme coin. Let alone B3, which is potentially the pinnacle of the frontier that is the gaming sector in crypto. Genuinely, it's very undervalued. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.